Let's go back to Genesis and talk about the new era that we're in. I want to bring up this word, Genesis chapter 15. Most of these verses are all going to come from the King James. There's a few that are going to come out of the Passion, but Genesis 15. This is after Abraham was visited by God. God said, look at the heavens, look at the stars. They're going to be as your nation. You're going to be a father of nations as big as this. It also talked about how then he made a covenant, and Abraham had to go take, a pigeon and a lamb, and he had to cut it, and he had to split it in half, and then the vultures or the ravens were coming, pests, the prey, birds of prey came to try to steal it. And it said Abraham had to flutter and keep them away. He had to stay up and keep them away. See, you have to fight to keep the enemy away. It's God's battle, but you have to participate in this battle. You are not a spectator in this journey.
So good.
Genesis 12:15. I always saw this and I wondered, what a bummer to be born in Egypt as an Israelite when it said this. It said, now when the sun was going down and he fell into deep sleep and deep darkness came, then he said to Abraham, know certainly that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will afflict them for 400 years. What a bummer if you were born in year 100 or year 200. Through no fault of your own, you are going to stay in bondage in Egypt for 400 years. Now, there's an individual journey in everyone. Everybody has something that God is working out in each of us, families, individually, etc. But sometimes God is just working something out on planet Earth. And that was one of those times. And we were talking about just America and how things had, over the last 20, 30, 50 years, I've seen so many things just slip and deteriorate and everything else. And I just feel like there's such a shaking going on around the world right now, not just in America, but everywhere. And I remember sitting down and Suzanne and I were talking and I said something about, it feels like 2020 is something very, very unique. And how old has America been? She said something like, when did Columbus come? Or the Mayflower come to America? And I remember seeing some picture of Plymouth Rock and the number 1620 on it. And I thought, that's what it says in Wikipedia, et cetera, that Mayflower was settled. The Pilgrims trying to get out of oppression came to America in 1620 and settled America. 1620 to 2020 is 400 years. It hit me like a shiver. I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh. That is like a form of oppressive bondage that the enemy could easily have put. Doesn't matter we had founding fathers that loved the Lord or anything else. The enemy always plants his weeds along with the crops and the good seed. Always. He's done it forever and ever and ever. It's never so pure that we're completely isolated and there's nothing that we ever have to fight or battle with. And I thought, you know what? This is a unique time. God is going to do this. It is not just a new season. It's not just a new year. It's not just a new decade. It's a new era. I believe it's a kairos time. A kairos time in God's calendar. And kairos in Greek means a supreme moment, an opportune time or place where everything changes. And I believe that's about what we're going to see.